What if everything we've been taught about human history is wrong? What if scattered across our planet are massive stone monuments built by advanced civilizations that existed thousands of years before the Great Flood? Today, I'm going to show you evidence that will completely change how you view our ancient past. These aren't just old buildings, they're proof that humanity achieved incredible technological heights only to have it all wiped away by a global catastrophe. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover will blow your mind. Welcome back to the channel today. We're diving into one of the most controversial topics in archaeology, the possibility that advanced megalithic structures were built before the Great Flood that appears in cultures worldwide. We're not just talking about a few scattered stones. We're talking about precisely engineered monuments, massive pyramid complexes, and stone circles that required knowledge and technology that supposedly didn't exist thousands of years ago. Before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because we're about to explore evidence that mainstream archaeology doesn't want you to see. Let's start with the flood itself. This isn't just a biblical story. Flood myths appear in over 200 cultures around the world. The Sumerians told of Utnapishtim surviving in his ark. The Greeks spoke of Deucalion's flood. Hindu texts describe Manu's survival of the Great Deluge. Norse mythology tells of the flood that preceded Ragnarok. From the Americas to Australia, from Africa to Asia, flood stories are everywhere. But here's the fascinating part: these aren't just myths. Geological evidence shows that around 11,600 to 12,900 years ago, during what scientists call the Younger Dryas period, massive climate changes occurred. Sea levels rose dramatically. Ice sheets collapsed. Entire land masses were submerged under hundreds of feet of water. Dr. Robert Schoch, a geologist at Boston University, has documented evidence for catastrophic flooding on a global scale during this period. The question that no one wants to ask is simple: what was already here before the waters rose?
In 1994, German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt uncovered something in Turkey that would revolutionize our understanding of prehistoric civilization. Göbekli Tepe, meaning Belly Hill, is officially dated to around 11,500 years old. That makes it older than Stonehenge by 6,000 years and older than the pyramids by 7,000 years. But here's the mind-blowing part that most people don't know. Göbekli Tepe was deliberately buried around 10,000 years ago. Someone took enormous effort to cover this incredible site with tons of earth and debris. Think about that? Why would an ancient civilization bury their greatest achievement? The construction itself defies everything we think we know about prehistoric peoples. We're looking at precisely carved T-shaped megalithic pillars, some weighing 40 to 60 tons, arranged in complex circular patterns. The level of sophistication required suggests an organized society with advanced knowledge of engineering, mathematics, and astronomy. The pillars are covered with intricate carvings of animals, abstract symbols, and human figures. Many researchers believe these carvings are telling a story, possibly the story of the flood itself. Graham Hancock, author of Magicians of the Gods, suggests that Göbekli Tepe might be a memorial built by flood survivors. If the Great Flood occurred around 11,600 years ago and Göbekli Tepe was built around 11,500 years ago, this timeline suggests it was constructed by people who witnessed the catastrophe that ended their world. Let's travel to Egypt, to one of the most recognizable monuments on Earth, the Great. According to mainstream archaeology, the Sphinx was carved around 4,500 years ago during the reign of Pharaoh Khafre. But geologist Robert Schoch noticed something that doesn't fit the official timeline. The weathering patterns on the Sphinx and its enclosure walls show clear signs of water erosion, not the wind and sand erosion you'd expect in a desert climate. This type of deep, vertical channeling could only be caused by heavy, consistent rainfall over long periods. But Egypt hasn't experienced that kind of climate for over 7,000 years, and certainly not during the time of the pharaohs. Schoch's research suggests the Sphinx could be much older, possibly 12,000 years old or more. This would place its construction before or during the great climate changes of the Younger Dryas period. If the Sphinx is indeed pre-flood, it would mean this incredible monument survived the Great Deluge that reshaped our world. We might be looking at a structure that watched civilizations rise and fall, that witnessed the Great Flood, and somehow survived to tell its story in stone. But the Sphinx isn't alone. Across our planet, we find pyramid structures that share remarkable similarities despite being separated by thousands of miles and supposedly built by cultures that had no contact with each other. In Indonesia, Gunung Padang is potentially the oldest pyramid structure on Earth. Recent ground-penetrating radar and geological analysis suggest this stepped pyramid might be 20,000 years old or more. That's twice as old as Göbekli Tepe. Dr. Danny Hillman Nadawij's research team found evidence of multiple construction phases, with the oldest chambers potentially dating back to before the last ice age. If this is accurate, we're looking at pre-flood construction on a massive scale. The pyramid complex at Giza, the stepped pyramids of Mesoamerica, the ancient structures in Cambodia's Angkor complex, all show signs of advanced engineering knowledge and astronomical alignment that seems impossible for their supposed time periods. Here's what's really intriguing. Many of these sites show evidence of water damage, flood layers, or were found partially submerged. The Yonaguni Monument off the coast of Japan appears to be a stepped pyramid structure now underwater, suggesting it was built when sea levels were much lower. Could these be remnants of a global civilization that existed before the Great Flood? A civilization advanced enough to build monuments that could survive the catastrophe. The precision of these structures, their astronomical alignments, and their global distribution suggest a level of coordination and knowledge that completely challenges our understanding of prehistoric human capabilities. This brings us to perhaps the most challenging question: how were these monuments actually built? The level of precision we see at pre-flood sites often exceeds what we can achieve today without modern power tools. At Pumapunku in Bolivia, we find stone blocks cut to tolerances of less than a millimeter. The angles are perfect. The surfaces are smooth as glass. And this at an altitude of 12,800 feet, using what mainstream archaeology tells us were only bronze tools. The H-blocks at Pumapunku are so precisely interlocked that they require three-dimensional thinking to assemble, like a massive stone jigsaw puzzle where each piece has multiple connecting surfaces. This level of planning and execution suggests advanced mathematical and engineering knowledge. But it's not just precision, it's also scale. The trilithons at Stonehenge, the foundation stones at the Temple Mount, the massive blocks at Sacsayhuaman in Peru, we're looking at construction projects that would challenge modern engineering capabilities. Some researchers propose that pre-flood civilizations possessed technologies that we've lost or forgotten. Others suggest they had knowledge of acoustic levitation, electromagnetic field manipulation, or other advanced techniques that have been lost to history. While these theories remain speculative, the evidence is undeniable. Someone, at some point in our distant past, possessed the knowledge and capability to create monuments that have survived for millennia, weathering not just time but potentially global catastrophe. Here's where things get controversial. If evidence for advanced pre-flood civilizations is so compelling, why isn't it accepted by mainstream archaeology? The answer involves what researchers call the paradigm problem. Accepting that advanced civilizations existed before the flood would require rewriting textbooks, recalculating timelines, and admitting that our understanding of human development has been fundamentally wrong. Researchers like Robert Schoch, Graham Hancock, and others have faced significant resistance from academic institutions. Their findings challenge deeply held beliefs about human progress and the linear development of civilization. The traditional view sees human civilization as a gradual upward progression from primitive hunter-gatherers to modern society. The alternative view suggests that highly advanced civilizations have existed before, been destroyed, and had to rebuild, possibly multiple times. But the evidence keeps accumulating. Ground-penetrating radar reveals hidden chambers beneath known sites. Underwater archaeology discovers submerged structures. Geological analysis shows that sites are older than previously thought. In recent years, LiDAR technology has revealed massive structures hidden beneath jungle canopies in Cambodia, Guatemala, and the Amazon. These discoveries suggest that our ancestors were capable of creating civilizations far larger and more sophisticated than we previously believed. If we accept that advanced civilizations existed before and were destroyed by global catastrophe, it changes how we view our own vulnerability. Climate change, asteroid impacts, supervolcanic eruptions, these threats that destroyed previous civilizations still exist today.
So what does all this evidence tell us? We've looked at Göbekli Tepe, deliberately buried after surviving the flood. We've examined the Sphinx, showing water erosion from a climate that ended over 7,000 years ago. We've explored pyramid structures worldwide that share impossible similarities. We've investigated megalithic monuments built with techniques that challenge modern engineering. The pattern is clear across the globe. We find evidence of advanced construction techniques, sophisticated astronomical knowledge, and monumental architecture that predates the Great Flood by thousands of years. These aren't just ancient buildings, they're proof that human civilization is far older and far more sophisticated than we've been taught. They're evidence that our ancestors possessed knowledge and capabilities that were largely lost when their world ended in flood. But here's the most important implication: if they could build monuments that survived global catastrophe, if they could encode knowledge in stone that would last for millennia, then we're capable of far more than we imagine. The story of these ancient monuments isn't just about the past, it's about understanding our true potential and learning from those who came before us. They survived catastrophe and left us messages in stone. Now it's up to us to decode them and learn from their wisdom. The truth is carved in stone, waiting for us to read it. We just have to be brave enough to question everything we think we know about human history. What do you think about this evidence? Are these monuments proof of advanced pre-flood civilizations? Have we been seriously underestimating our ancestors' capabilities? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If this video opened your eyes to possibilities you'd never considered before, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel reach more people who are ready to question the official narrative. And if you want to dive deeper into these mysteries with me, make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on, because I've got so much more evidence to share with you. We're going to explore underwater cities, impossible artifacts, and ancient technologies that will completely change how you see our past. Don't forget to share this video with anyone who's ready to have their mind blown by the real story of human civilization. The truth has been hidden in plain sight for thousands of years, and together, we're going to uncover it all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, where we'll explore even more evidence that our history books have been lying to us. Until then, keep questioning everything.